math has elements of white supremacy and racism. NTD's Christina Kim explores the Marxist origins of this ideology and the details of this, quote, anti-racist training program.
Oregon's education department is promoting a training program to help teachers, quote, develop an anti-racist math practice. The program is funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and partners with many education and math organizations. According to the toolkit, teachers must work to, quote, dismantle white supremacy in math classrooms by visibilizing toxic characteristics of white supremacy.
This is talking about injecting into a hard science ideas of oppression and supremacy. And as critical theory does, it takes this notion of the postmodern notion of really no absolute truth and sort of sprinkling that throughout.
Critical theory has origins in Marxism, which separates the world into oppressors versus the oppressed. Critical race theory takes that framework and looks at the world through a racial lens, separating people into racist and anti-racist. Education expert Jonathan Butler says this idea says people should look at narratives to describe the world. In other words, there are no absolute truths, only narratives.
This is talking about injecting into a hard science ideas of oppression and supremacy.
This toolkit says it's white supremacy for teachers to ask students to show their work or focus on the right answer. Teachers are encouraged to ask their students to come up with at least 2 answers that might solve a math problem. A reference workbook similarly says the belief in objectivity is a characteristic of white supremacy. It claims it's racist to believe there is such a thing as being objective or neutral. Instead, one should assume that everybody has a valid point.
But what this is doing is taking a very political and I think extremely circular and frankly logically incoherent concept